everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kristen and I'm so glad that you guys are joining me today. This is Growing Zone 9B, where we talk about everything from, mental health, mostly gardening, and cooking. Today is a really cool and rainy day, kind of unexpected. We are off on holiday, and so I was planning on going out on the pedal boat, but I shot a video earlier talking about some of the books that I have, and so I'm going to continue this. This is going to be kind of like part 2. My other video was fairly long, so I wanted to break this video up. Alright, so let's begin. I think that the day and age that we are living in is really quite tough. I think that we are going through some financial we're seeing inflation, and I think that that's really playing a part on, is really affecting people's lives right now. I have clients that I know are kind of dropping out of getting the resources that they need because financially it's too much on them to put food on the table or to come and see me. They're going to put food on the table, and I completely 100% understand that, and that is part of the reason why I honestly work 2 jobs, because it is difficult for people to get, like I said, the support they need when they're hungry. And so I want to kind of jump into that of, I understand that people can't come to me, so that's okay, sometimes, and people's jobs like mine will fluctuate with income and inflation and depression, like financial statuses that we are seeing right now. Because to me, I feel like we're leaning towards a depression. That's just my personal opinion. This is not anything that's a fact. There's nothing that's been stated that way, at least through the media. Of course, I don't know that they would tell you anyway. Y'all see my shirt? Isn't it cute? Got it at Target. It's Harry Potter. The kids, we like to watch like fun stuff like Harry Potter, and I know some people are really opposed to it, like, what, you believe in God but you watch Harry Potter? Listen, so don't be hating on people that are a little bit of the mystical way. That's just my opinion, but you're not supposed to hate on people anyway. You're just supposed to love one another. Alright, so I'm not going to get involved with that right now because that'll just start arguments on YouTube, but alright, let's get started. So one of the books I forgot and I left out on my Building Your Herbal Apothecary and Educating Your Own Self, one of the books that I have on my shelf, which I think is extremely important. I don't know if she makes a book for women. If she does, I need to go and buy that. But this is Rosemary Glad Star. She actually has a really great book, which is the Firesider book. So I love her books, but I'm going to tell you now, how many folks have men in their lives, whether that's your father, your uncle, a brother, it doesn't have to be necessarily a spouse, that really doesn't want to go to the doctor. I think that we might have quite a few of them that could be that way, and so this book is great, and you want to keep this on your shelf and you want to have access to it, because I was just reading an article in the video previous to this that the GPs, the general practitioners, are being told to cut back on providing support medication for folks that have some of the basic issues, which maybe, not basic, more common issues, which would be like, diarrhea, migraines, things that we face quite often. So I wanted to add this in, and I can't believe I left it out, so I'm adding it in now. Herbal healing for men. So for the man in your life, or if you have a man in your life, this is a really important book, because they often, like I said, don't take care of themselves and get the help that they need. And if they are getting the help that they need, of course there's a ambulance or something. Y'all know I live close to a highway, so we're gonna get that in these videos. So this is really a great book to keep on hand, especially if you're going to have to learn how to treat yourself, or treat someone that you love. I think this is great. There's even like remedies for depression, or at least support. I don't know that these are end-all be-all cures, but I think that these are pieces of nature that we have definitely stepped away from. I like that it's like this antifungal foot bath, antifungal powder. I feel like that's like important things to know, especially here in Florida, because as you all can see, it's been very rainy. My cushions are soaking wet. The rain came in sideways. I talked about that in the previous video, but since this is a new video, this may be the first video that you guys are watching. So I have all my cushions out, and it is very humid here. It's so humid that there's always like green funk and mold growing on everything. You've got to constantly keep up with it, and once I get one section cleaned up, it comes back. And at this point, I'm just to the point where I'll just let it grow for the most part. Like if it's not hurting something and it's just unattractive around my garden area, I'm not even investing my life in it anymore that much, because it is what it is. If it gets really bad, I'll definitely take care of it. But anyway, so this talks about anxiety relief, prostate health, energy, longevity, vitality, circulation support. I think that's really good for older folks or people that have heart issues. You want to, be consciously aware and educate yourself on these matters. Remember, getting a hold of a book is really important, because you never know when might go down, or go offline. We have AT&T, and a couple of months ago, the AT&T phones were down, and people were flipping out. They were going off on AT&T workers. Like, give me a break. Like, it's not the workers' fault that your stinking phone's not working. That's what I'm talking about these days. People aren't thinking. People are just reacting, and they are so narcissistic and self-absorbed that it is insane. Insane. All right. So add that book to your healing if you are interested. That is definitely, obviously, something that I have. One of my resources for my toolbox, as I say. All right, so moving on. I have a lot of vegan books. The reason why I have a lot of vegan books is because I used to be really hardcore vegan for a very long time. Very long time. I got really sick, and I had to have some blood transfusions, and I don't know what happened after that, but my body kind of shifted. So I do try to stick to a more vegan diet. My family is heavy meat eaters, but I try to be, I will eat it a little bit, but I'm definitely not like super intense about it. I feel like when you take a life, that's a very hard thing to do. And I'm not even sure that that's what we were designed to do per se, but that's, let's touch that subject on another day. So I think the vegan books are really important, because what if you had to survive without eggs or dairy or livestock in your life? So I think that we kind of need to go back to nature in a lot of ways. I know people do a lot of like raw cooking, and like there's like a whole movement of raw eating, which I think that's great as well. But I think everything needs balance to some degree, so don't just be like it's all like this or it's all like that, because at some point you will wind up probably with some health issues, and you need to really go back to creating a balance. But getting back to the point of why I wanted to show you guys this book was because, or these books, is because implementing some vegan recipes into your life, I think, is really important. And like I said, if something like the grid went down or you weren't able to get the food that you wanted, it's good to know and have resources that are of vegan option, because you don't really need a lot of the things that you might have otherwise needed, such as eggs, butter, or dairy or meat. You might not have that. And so if you're out in your garden and you're growing, here are some great recipes that you might be able to utilize. And I think it's really good because it talks about like proteins that you need if you're going to be vegan. I think that it's really important. This book is labeled great because it's like quick recipes. I also have a sun oven, which I need to show you guys. And so a lot of these recipes you could implement in the sun oven. Especially, like I said, being that they are vegan, you don't really have to worry about anything if it didn't actually like cook like you think that it should. And it just gives you some great alternatives and ideas that you might not have otherwise thought about. This is one of the recipes that I often use. I really like this chickpea salad. It's super easy to make. And so I highly recommend that you get this book. It's called Kind of Vegan, and I think that it's really good because it's for someone that's probably kind of leaning towards a vegan lifestyle, but they're not really sure. And so it brings in and implements a lot of recipes that you might see if you went out to a restaurant or something that you would be interested in eating, but they change it up to make it vegan for you. So I think it's good to kind of step on that side of the table, so to speak, and get yourself a couple of vegan cookbooks. All right, so that's one of the ones that I have, and I obviously recommend it because I have it and I have utilized it. I don't like doing like these type of videos where it's not something that I haven't already used or invested my time in. If it's a book that's not great, I'm not going to really share that with you all. All right, this is a really good book. I like this book. It is But My Family Would Never Eat Vegan. It's 125 recipes, and it says to win everyone over. They have some really great recipes in here, especially for like I call it like summertime recipes. So recipes that you would be able to go to, like, you know, take to a picnic or take to an event that maybe your friends and family are having, and it's really awesome. They also have a lot of pictures in here, which I think is great. I love having pictures because it lets me know what the recipe should look like, because sometimes you make something and you're like, man, my recipe doesn't look like that. As long as it tastes good, that's important, but I like the visuals, so I kind of have an idea. So to me, that's really important. The recipe we just saw was cabbage rolls, and I like the cabbage rolls because we can actually grow cabbage here, so I'm able to actually just resource that from my garden. French onion soup, they make it vegan, so you're not having to worry about that beef broth if you're not able to get your hands on bone broth for using that. Chickenless chicken salad. I know they make what is it called, chicken salad chicks. So there's an entire restaurant that has just rocketed off of eating chicken salad. So here is an alternative if you would like to try it and see. You know, obviously nothing takes the place of meat, but it's good to know that there are some alternatives that you could get used to trying and eating and just kind of venture out in a new direction. Of course, there's always sweets in vegans cookbooks because I don't know what it is, but I definitely love sweets, and so that, like, it, you know, that makes me excited. This one's a really good one too. I love mushrooms. I wish I had more knowledge, and I need to actually, that's one of the skills I personally want to grow in, is actually doing mushrooms, because here in Florida it's very high in moisture. I always get scared that I'm going to eat something that I shouldn't eat because I don't really know what I'm doing, but that's definitely a skill that I want to start to work on. I thought about ordering some mushrooms and getting started in, like, knowing where I placed them and then working from that direction. All right, this is a really good soup. I've actually done this one before. It's the lasagna soup. It's really delicious. So on a cool day like today, it would be great to actually do, and I might actually make that one today, as a matter of fact. So yeah, so there's a lot of recipes. I kind of like to cook my way through cookbooks. Sometimes I'll pick a recipe and then just, you know, make it and see if we actually end up liking it. Like I said, so this book has a lot of visual, and I think that's great. So here's the book again. If you're interested in it, then I recommend that you go out and begin to build your toolbox on this, using this book as one of your vegan cookbooks. All right. I like this book. This book my mom has actually borrowed. I ended up buying her this book as well. It's the Homemade Vegan Pantry. It's got a lot of great resources. You can see that I have flagged the book. It doesn't have a lot of pictures, which y'all know I'm a picture girl. I like to see what I'm cooking. But it's very elegant and beautiful. This is probably for someone, I think, that's a little more advanced in the vegan world. I mean, definitely go out and try it if it's something that you're interested in. But it's not just your pick up off the shelf and let's, you know, get started. This is gonna take you, I think, to me personally, a little bit more time in getting to know the practice of becoming a vegan, and or at least utilizing vegan you know, menus. So, because like some of the stuff is like, I don't know, you know, like my fiance would never eat it, but it's like, you know, shiitake mushrooms and, you know, oyster mushrooms, trumpet. Like, he's not gonna go out and eat this. I would, but he won't. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think this book that really is more for people that are used to eating an American menu would probably enjoy a little more. Like I said, this is for a little bit more of the advanced folks, but it's still delicious. I do utilize it, and it is a book that I do recommend and I do keep on my shelf. All right, so y'all know that I like some sweets, and so on the last video that I shot, I was showing you guys that I love the cookie book, which is made by this same person. This is the vegan cupcake. I will tell you that the cupcake book is good. It is good if you like cupcakes. I feel like the cupcakes are a little more drier, and so the cookies have a lot more moisture. Although I do like this book, so if you're a really big cupcake fan, or like when my nephews come over, they like cupcakes, so I definitely make a lot of cupcakes from this book. I would say overall the recipes are very similar in a lot of ways, and I think that's where that dryness comes in. It's your toppings or the flavor itself that is going to change. We have key limes, and so this is one of the recipes that I have made, and I utilize the key limes for it. So I don't want to discourage people, because I definitely think that this is a great little handy book. It's very small, so it doesn't take up a lot of space to keep on hand. But like I said, I think for the most part, the bottom, you're getting the very similar consistency, and it's the toppings that are really gonna kind of change it up. But it's a beautiful cookbook to get your hands on, and like I said, if you're a big fan of cupcakes, then this is one I definitely recommend for your sweet tooth. It's really good. I like the cookie book more though, so I'm definitely probably just more of a fan of cookies. But this cookbook did get Cookbook of the Year for Vegan News. So like I said, if you are venturing out into the vegan world and you are recognizing that eggs and milk and dairy are very costly, if you don't have access to, you know, a milking animal or chickens, or this is just a good thing to keep on hand, because you may need to utilize it at some point, because you may need to have an alternative to milk, you know, and dairy and chickens and meat type products. So just keep that in mind, that you can still eat really good and you can go vegan. All right, so I hope everyone is having a lovely day out there. I want to thank everybody for taking the time out to join me today. As you all can see, it is a very cool day. I think I mentioned that earlier. And I'm going to go in the house. We are getting ready to have a celebration here coming up, and I need to make some cookies. So I am going to be utilizing the cookie cookbook today. And I want to thank everybody for joining me. Remember, love one another, be kind to one another, be the light in the world. That's very important. Be kind. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.